Hello everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to day 10. We're in the double digits now. Yay! You guys have made it to double digits. Awesome. So as you can see, I am at the bakery. I'm not at home. I'm still doing a lot of work at the bakery because tomorrow is the launch of our web link. So delivery and all that is going to happen from tomorrow onwards, and we are transitioning into a store. It's no longer just pre-order, which is awesome because they're no longer a home baker. Like I've transitioned to like actually functioning like a store, which is awesome, right? So let's without talking too much, let's get into the class. And today it's all about, thank you Rachel, and it's all about profit margins, right? If you remember, we've in the Excel sheet, when we are doing our variable costs and our fixed costs, we have something called profit margin, right? How many of you remember that? Can you please put it in the chat box? Yes. Who remembers that? Who remembers profit margin? And what is the highest profit margin we put? $150, right? Yes, Rachel, you are right. Absolutely right. Did any of you feel like 150% is too much? Please put it in the chat box. Initially, you also felt it was a lot, right? Yeah, initially you felt it was a lot simply because most of your profit was also going into the hidden costs. Remember that, Rachel? Most of your, yeah. So so profit margin is very, very important. So yes, at first knowing the hidden costs. Yeah, before knowing the hidden costs. Yeah, great. So I'm going to give you, I know 150% feels like a lot, but one of the reasons why I put 150% was also because I know initially nobody is going to think about hidden costs so much until you start making a lot, until you start baking more, until you start figuring out, oh my goodness, I have this, no, this is not there, that is not there, I'm not charging for this, which is why I put it at 150%, even without telling you guys. Yeah. So in the beginning 150% felt like a lot, but it was like, oh my goodness, yes, at the end of the day, because a lot of it was going off into hidden costs, the profit that was left with you was very little. Hi Karuna, welcome. Right. So we're getting back into profit margin. At its core, profit margin is the percentage that remains after all expenses have been deducted from sales. So that is what profit margin is. So you have two sets of profit margin. One will be your gross profit margin, and next will be your net profit margin. So what is your gross profit margin? Gross profit margin is margin on your, when you just all your variable costs are gone, and whatever is remaining is your gross profit margin. But actually your indirect costs are also there. Now what are your indirect costs? Your indirect costs are nothing but your hidden costs, your things like your fixed cost, and your hidden cost will become your indirect cost, which you don't see. So when you add that and then you put a margin on that, that becomes your net profit margin. Is that making sense? I know it's a little technical today, but just stay with me, because as that gets into your head, tomorrow we'll do a lot of math on trying to figure out what is your gross profit margin, what is your net profit margin. So we touched a little bit on this. When you have your put the answers in the chat box. When you have your variable costs high, will you get more profit or less profit? Please put it in the chat box. By now everybody knows what variable costs are, right? Sunaina is saying less profit. Okay, great Sunaina, you're saying less profit. Why do you think it's less profit? You can unmute yourself and let me know.
Because it is eating into, when the variable costs are high, it's eating into our profit.
How is it eating into our profit when it is a variable cost? When variable costs are high, why is it eating into our profits?
Supposing the ingredients costed less last month, this month they're costing us more. The profit margin would be higher last month, but this
Uh-huh.
month we'd make less profit.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else can answer this question? Sunana, you're on the right track. Definitely, you're on the right track. But why do you think, Karuna? I'm on a different. Okay, no problem, Karuna. You can put the answers in the chat box. Okay, cool, cool. No worries, sir. Karuna. Rachel, Elizabeth, you guys can unmute yourself and tell me the answer.
They are like unexpected expenditure.
Variable costs?
Mm. Is it?
What are variable costs? Variable costs are nothing but the ingredients, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, we talked about variable costs keep going up if our sales are going up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mm.
Why should we keep our variable costs lower? And if we don't keep them lower, how does it affect our profit? Rachel said, I'm not sure I understand. Think, Rachel, think. In fact, you were the one who told me.
So if the ingredient cost is going up high each time,
Yeah?
then the profit that we have set, that this will be our profit like 150 or 100. But
Hmm.
that time the ingredient cost was different. So each time we are changing it,
Uh-huh.
the profit will go down. Is that the answer?
Yes, yes.
It will
So,
get affected.
actually, you hit the nail on its head. So, what happens once you calculate it? Once you calculate the cost and everything, your margin is, let's say you put it at 150 also. Okay, and you fix the price, right? You can't keep changing the price every now and then, right? Yes. So, if you put your maida at, let's say, 90 rupees, it should be at 90 rupees. Does it make sense? It can't keep going higher and higher and higher. Because if it keeps going higher, you're still charging a profit margin at 150%, right? What will happen? Your cost will go up. Your selling price will also go up. And you have to adjust it. There's an adjusting place over there, depending on the market research. Do you want me to show you the guys share the page again? Yeah, profit becomes less. Good job, Rachel. Very good job. Profit becomes less because you can't keep changing the selling price every time you're putting a cake outside. You can't keep calculating this every time, right? So you need to take into consideration the inflation also. You need to take into consideration 7%, 9% of inflation every year. That is how you increase the price also. You don't just drastically increase of the price. I know it is your company, and I keep telling you guys also, it is up to you how much you want to charge, definitely. Because why am I telling you that in the beginning? You definitely need a lot of confidence to do that. And once you do that, then you kind of like figure out, oh, I am maybe not charging right. I may be charging more, or maybe I'm charging less. And how do you have a grip on that? You have a grip on that only when you bring your variable cost down. So at any given point of time, you should strive to keep your variable cost down. So which is why you need to hi Sunanda, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you, Sunanda. Okay, I'm just gonna mute you. Yeah, great. Thank you. So keep your variable costs down. Because what happens is, yeah, if your variable costs are down, you make sure that the amount of profit that you're getting will be standard. So which is why the next thing about variable cost is you need to learn to standardize your recipe. You can't keep changing your recipe every time. So work out a recipe in such a way that your costs are all lining up. You without compromising the quality, standardize your recipe so that you at any given point of time you know that if the cost of ingredients is 250, you stay in 250. The max you can go is 260. Don't go beyond that. Am I making sense? Please give it to me in the chat box so I also know that you guys are, yeah. Cool, Rachel. I don't want to go ahead simply because I know it's a little technical to wrap our heads around variable costs and fixed costs. Yeah. So be very dogged, very, very, very diligent about keeping your cost to whatever you've calculated. Do rechecking again and again if you need to. Yeah, but don't in the middle of let's say 1 month you worked on banana cake and it worked really well, right? Don't suddenly you see a recipe on YouTube. Don't suddenly change your banana cake recipe to something that you've seen on YouTube. Am I making sense? Because what is going to happen? It is going to just mess with your entire structure of pricing. And I know it might seem like, oh, it's only, Dolly, there's only 10 rupees difference or 15 rupees difference. But when you're actually calculating the percentages and all that, it makes a huge difference. Okay? So please do not try and standardize your recipe so that your variable cost pretty much stay the same the entire year. Now, where do you want to increase the cost? Where do you want to increase the cost? You want to increase the cost in the fixed cost. Why? Because after a time, like for example, let's say your rent is 10,000 and you're putting 5% of 10,000 in every cake. How much is that? What is 5% of, no, not 5% of 10,000, 5% of the entire cost, right? Let's say for every recipe, you're getting 50 rupees. How many recipes should you make to get the rent? To get 10,000? You have to make 200 recipes. Yes? Am I making sense? Yes. So after 200 recipes in a month, if you make off 200 cakes in a month, 200 cookies, 200 cakes, whatever it is, for every recipe that you made, you're getting 50 rupees. Let's just say. Yeah. What will happen for the 201st recipe? You are still going to get your fixed cost ka money? Yes or no? Am I making sense? Yeah. So what is it telling you? Is it telling you to reduce the cost of the fixed cost, or is it asking you to do you think this will make sense for you to increase the cost of your fixed costs? Give it to me in the chat box. Box. What should you do? You guys are saying yes, 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 but what do you think you should do? Should you decrease the fixed costs or should you increase the fixed costs? Increase the fixed costs. Yeah. So don't, just because I gave you the Excel form, don't just stick to just that. You can play around with the numbers. You can definitely play around with the numbers. I gave you a thing of 5% to 8%. Push it to 8% and see what it does to your cost price. Yes? Yes or no? Push it and see. And then if you've done your market analysis really well, and you know, oh, this is how much Theobroma, if my competitor is charging, let's say 1600 rupees for a kg of cake, I can definitely, And if my cost price is coming up till, let's say, 300 or 400, my variable cost, I can definitely increase my fixed cost to 200 rupees, because 150 of that will be what? 150% of 300 plus 200 is 500. 150% will be 750, right? 500 plus 750 is it's still 1250. It's still coming less than Theobroma. Understood? So that way, what can you do? You can increase the percentage of rent. If you're calculating at 5%, you can increase it to 7% and see. Because what will happen if the more fixed costs you're increasing, that will you will reach your target of fixed costs by lesser sales. Earlier, maybe you would have to have maybe you had to bake 200 recipes to reach the rent. But by increasing the percentage of rent, what will happen? You might have to only do 150 recipes and your rent is sorted. Am I making sense? Is it like mind blowing? Once this makes sense to you guys, it will be like complete bulb on moment. Tell me if it is a bulb on moment for you guys. Put BO in the chat box if it is a bulb on moment for you guys. Awesome. So what do you do? What are the, if I have to bring this entire session into 2 points, it will be what? Reduce variable costs, increase fixed costs. That's it. And with that,